Okay. Okay. I am so excited to be having one of my dearest friends, Brandi Daniels, on the Empowered Agent podcast today. And Brandi is a total human design nerd. She absolutely dove into human design. She's going to tell you a little bit today about human design, what it can do for you in your life and your business. And then we'll dive into even how I use it in real estate. And then we maybe dive in a little bit more about that. How's that sound, Brandi?
That sounds great.
Good. Okay, so
Hi,
Brady, tell us a
everyone.
little bit about you and what it is that you do.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Brandi. I live in sunny San Diego. It actually is sunny today. The rain has gone, has
Yeah,
passed.
I know.
And and yeah, I feel really blessed to have found human design. And I say found, it found me, discovered about a year ago, and it
Mm,
changed my life. And
mm,
I have just been on this mad mission to get human design out into the world to as many people as possible, to expose them to this amazing tool. It really is a tool that
yeah.
once you become aware of what your human design is, your unique code, and why you are here on this planet in this time, it it changes everything. It can't help but change everything. How you operate, how you take care of yourself, how you communicate, how you are in relationship, how you run your business. There's
Mm,
just so many different areas where human design can come in and just give you an awakening to how it can be done better with more
mm.
ease, and abundance can truly come in, which is what we all want.
Oh my gosh, yes, you just said like some amazing keywords. So, obviously, we're a lot of people listening here are going to be realtors. They want to be empowered, they want to have more
Yes.
abundance. But a huge thing for real estate agents or anybody in business is trying to do this with ease, taking the struggle out of it as an
Yes.
entrepreneur, right? I'm sure
Right.
as you're diving into this, you see a lot of entrepreneurs who are either in the belief system that the struggle has to happen in order for abundance to come. And what I'm hearing you say is that that's not true.
It's not true. It is
Okay.
absolutely not true. There is a way to work efficiently, with more ease, with more grace, loving yourself without stressing yourself out,
I love that.
having more compassion for other people, and not feel like you're not doing your part.
Okay.
What I come across a lot of with my clients is they feel like their work determines their value. Their work, how much
Mm.
they work, how much they can handle, how, a lot of people are doing the job of four people themselves. And we're not all designed to do that. And we're definitely, the number one way you can tell is how you feel when you're doing it, right?
Okay, so
There are
really
some
tapping
people
into,
who love,
yeah,
mhm,
tapping into the feeling body of how you're
yes,
working. Okay, okay, I
yes,
do that. Okay,
yes.
I'm
There
taking.
is a way to work,
Mhm.
to do a lot if that's what you want, to do a little and still feel like you're showing up in the world. You are worthy of everything that you want, and that it's going to come to you.
You make me cry on this episode. I absolutely love that. And because it is so personal to me as a real estate agent, when I got into this business, it was very much like, okay, I'm going to go sell houses. Well, it's like spinning, plates, really. It's like I'm doing marketing and I'm doing this and I'm doing contracts and it's like all of these things. And in our industry, in specifically in real estate, we're almost awarded or get recognition for how much we're doing. Not how much we're
Yes,
being, not who we're being, not how we're showing up, but how much we're doing. Oh, that person did this much in volume and sales. This person did this,
exactly.
built a team. This person did. And I really would love to reshape that and have people not get burnt out in real estate. Remember why we
Yes,
got into this to help people and enjoy it because it can be really fun, just like any business. So
100%.
let's dive into this because I'm sure some
Exactly.
people are listening and they're like, what the heck is human design? So will you dive into that a little bit? Because I know when I first found out about this a few years ago, I was like, what is this
Absolutely.
thing? Yeah.
I will give you the Cliff Note 30-second version.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, human design was developed in the late 80s by a gentleman, just a normal guy, who, in full disclosure, was literally having a dark night of the soul moment.
Yeah.
He was lost, he was frustrated, he was angry, he was bitter, he was all of the things. And he was cursing at God, what is my purpose? Why am I here?
Mm.
Please, like I need to know now. And shortly thereafter, he received a download. And he wasn't
Mm.
particularly religious or any of those things, just literally like anyone else, right? But he got this download, and this download is what became the human design platform, tool,
Mm.
database. And so so human design is a combination of astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, and oh my goodness, the I Ching, Kabbalah, trio. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Astrology.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and the chakra system.
And
There's
the
so many different things. The chakra system. And
okay.
so we figure out your human design by looking at your birth date, birth time, birth location, just like you would with an astrology
Yeah.
reading. But what comes back is two things:
Okay.
how you are designed. So this is your unconscious part of yourself that you're not even aware of, right? And then the conscious side of you, your personality. And this is typically what you like. If I named off something, she'll be like, "Yep, that's me. Yep,
Yeah.
that's me. Yep, oh,
Yeah.
that's me."
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But the beauty is in the unconscious, and
Mm.
that is typically what other people see in us. And so
Mm.
if I rambled off those things to your friends, to your closest people, your closest confidants, they'd be like, "Oh my God, that is her to a T." Yes, but
Yeah.
that's where the wisdom is because we don't see it in ourselves, and
Mm.
so we do all these things. We do all these things to compensate, right? To try and fulfill this image that
Yeah.
society, family, school, social media, the world says it should be, we should be,
Okay.
when actually, if we just were aware of how we're designed, that's where the ease comes in. That's where you find your flow.
Loving that. I'm loving that. And these are
Mhm.
all just it's so interesting when you are in flow that these things will show up in your life, right? Like this learning system
Yes.
or just whatever that is of how to be in flow. That's amazing. So I know I don't know that much about human design. I do know mine, sort of. But would you talk a little bit about, like the main, I think there's like four main like things like projector, manifester. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah. So there's actually five.
Okay.
There's four, but there's actually five because we can break one of them up into two different parts.
Okay.
So I'll go in the order of popularity, we'll say.
Okay.
So
Popularity meaning
70% of the
meaning
world,
okay, how many people
the
have it?
most
Okay,
common,
7%.
yeah. So
Okay.
70% of the world,
Mm-hmm.
70%
Yeah.
are generators.
Okay.
That's majority of the world. So majority of the world is designed to work, to be able to handle a lot, right? The reason our world exists the way it does with
Mm-hmm.
buildings, technology, all the things that we have, the comforts, is
Yeah.
because there are generators in the world,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Underneath that, you've got 20% that are projectors,
Okay. That's me.
okay?
Okay.
So projectors, you guys, which I believe
Yes, I am. Yeah.
you are our visionary. You are here to show us how to do it better, right?
Wow.
The difference between a projector and a generator is that you don't have the energy capacity of a generator, which is not important because you're here to plant the seeds of how we can work better, right? How we can work more efficiently, the easier way of doing it versus killing ourselves trying to do it,
Right.
the hustle.
Right. Right.
Okay?
Okay.
This is where it's really good to have both. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. We need them
Under
both.
projector, we have manifester, which I am.
Okay.
Manifestors make up about 8% of the population. So
Okay.
we're a little is a fewer of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the manifester is really here to get things started,
Okay.
right? Manifestors and projectors work really well together because we get the idea, we can get the ball going. Projectors show up and show us how to clean it up and make it better and easier, how to flow. And then
Mhm.
generators get to work and make it happen, if you
Love
want
it.
to think of it like that.
Okay. I
Okay?
love it. Yeah.
The fourth group is a reflector. And there's less than 1% of the population are reflectors. Reflectors are purely here to be the thermostat, you could say, right?
Okay.
They let us know how it's working,
Okay. Okay.
how how the health of the world is, how the health of our community is. Is it working or is it not? They are truly here to be that mirror for us.
Yeah.
So I
Even
did mention there were five. I only listed four. The
right.
fifth one is a subgroup of the generator, and that's the manifesting generator. So the manifesting generators are a combination of generator and
Hmm.
manifester.
Okay.
And so they're a special subgroup because they have the energy of the generator and also the initiation part of the manifester.
Okay.
And that's the five
Husband is one
steps.
of those.
And they're all important. They're all
Okay.
important. There's no one better than the other. You can wish you were one over the other.
I know.
But as the creative human design Raw said, and my teachers have always said, you are put here with what you have because that's what you need in this lifetime.
I love that. That's
Plain and simple.
amazing. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, like we talked a little bit about what each person does and how these all work together. And then we also talked about how somebody would find out, right? They could contact you, give you those things, the birthplace, the birth location, the birth date, the time,
Yep.
and then you can
Hmm.
generate these basic, I guess, categories. I don't know if there's a word for them.
Yeah, so and again, human design is open to anyone and everyone. You can literally just Google human design chart and find a free software that will download it for you.
Okay.
The juicy part comes in, it's going to be a lot of information. And so a
Yeah.
lot of times people get it and they're like, fire hydrant, too much. I don't
Yes.
understand any of this. And that's
Yeah.
where you want to bring in someone like myself, where I'm able to go through it with you, hear your questions, your concerns, and pinpoint where in your chart are those answers or those
Okay.
solutions. So if
Okay.
you really want to get granular with it and dive into it, you definitely want to work with a reader, a guide, someone who has that experience, that knowledge, who can really break it down for you in bite-sized pieces.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. And then when you
Yeah.
kind of do that, so yeah, because I think it is so difficult to like for mine, if I look at mine, and I'm like, what do I do with this? And that whole, like now I know.
Yes.
And I've been on kind of a search because let's talk a little bit about what each person's supposed to do, like kind of what their situation is,
Mm,
right? So,
yes.
um, and I may actually have you do mine because mine's come back, I think, twice, two different ways. But um, so let's talk a little bit about, if you are like a generator, maybe what are some good tasks or how do those people work best in the world? Like, does
Great
that make sense?
question.
Does that question make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So, generators and manifesting generators, like I mentioned, you guys have the energy. Your goal is to find what you love. When you know, when you feel it in your gut, in your heart, that you have found what you love, what lights you up, you have all of the energy in the world to make it happen, to actually do. If there were any other type out there, the generators are here to do. Because once you land on what lights you up, you could do it forever.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for you guys, it's important to listen to your gut. Listen to
Okay.
like that voice inside. That's gonna tell you like, yes, this is what I want to do, and then go do it. The
Okay.
energy will be there.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you are a manifester, for us, just like projectors, we don't have that energy source.
Okay.
Manifestors work in waves. So there was a great meme actually a few days ago that came out, and it said manifestors have two speeds,
Uh-huh.
150% and
Uh-huh.
50%.
Oh my God,
And
that's so
it's so true.
funny. My best friend is a manifester. That is hilarious. And that is so true. And she thinks she's
It's so
procrastinating, but
true.
so this will give her some clarity into maybe this isn't
Yes.
procrastinating. Maybe it's just the waves that you work the best, right?
Yes,
Okay.
manifestors work in waves or urges. You might also
Okay.
hear it called as an
Urge.
urge, where when we get that spark of inspiration, yes, that's it. And then we go. But
Okay.
just like it came, it can also wean out. And then we're like, okay, I need to rest now because we used up so much energy to get that
Okay.
thing started.
Great.
Okay. So again, it's important for us to also know, like be able to understand like, oh, I'm inspired. I need to do something. I need to take action now while
Okay.
we have it versus, oh, okay, well, I'll sit on the couch for 2 more hours and then I'll get to work. No, no,
Okay.
no.
It's more waiting for the manifestors that are listening to this. It's more like I'm inspired, go do it now. Don't try to like make
Yes.
yourself get inspired. Does that make sense?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And oftentimes it's like in that moment, it's because that's when you're going to be the most powerful. Whether
Okay.
it's you're inspired to say something, to tell someone something, to speak, to write, whatever it is, it's because in that moment, you intuitively know this is the best time.
Okay.
This
I
is the
love that.
right person. This is the right situation. Okay?
Inspired. That's so good.
Projectors are very much the same way too, except with projectors, you have to be invited,
Okay.
right? And projectors are so special because, like I said, you guys are here to show us how to do it better. But
Okay.
what do most people not want to be told?
What to do?
How to do something. Exactly. So, projectors being projectors, they want to help. You just want to help because you intuitively feel there's a better way of doing this. Why are you doing this to yourself? But it
Yes.
doesn't come across unless that person is ready to hear it, right? So they have to come to
Okay.
you. You have to be invited.
That's a
And
really
and,
nice
and
way
an
of putting
invitation.
that because I think I've read a lot of things
Mhm.
and I think when you first hear, oh, you have to be invited, you just feel like, what? Like I got to sit around and wait and what does that
Yeah,
mean? Right? Okay. Yeah. So you're
that's the
just being
beautiful thing about it.
yeah, yeah. So okay,
Yeah,
so they're seeing the world as we can do this. This is awesome, but they really need to kind of be asked to do that. So like in business, I have follow projector coach, and her thing is always like create content that people will reach out to you. And
exactly.
yeah, and that people will want to, raise their to you're attracting instead of like a generator, I
Yes,
have a feeling can just be pick up the phone and be like, hey, just go and do and right. Okay, okay, I got it.
exactly.
Okay.
Generators and manifestors can go out and initiate to a degree, right? Manifestors for sure can initiate. They're great for cold calling. They're the ones who are great picking up the phone first, making that initial contact. Generators are really good at responding. So putting themselves in positions where they're in the middle of stuff so that they
Uh-huh.
can quickly respond, jump in, say, yes, I'm here, I can do it, I want to be a part of it.
Okay.
Projectors, you're about putting out there what your zone of genius is
Okay. Okay.
without expectation. Because the minute you start doing it for praise, doing it for attention, doing it for a dollar, that's when you're no longer in alignment. You just
Okay.
put it out there, and that is what attracts people to you, and they start paying attention. And when they finally are ready, they're like, oh, that's the person I'm going to call. That's the person
Okay.
I'm going to work with.
Okay.
She keeps
Interesting.
showing up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, this podcast for you is perfect. It's another way for you to be showing up without cold calling, right?
Okay.
Without being literally like, hey, let's talk.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just being you and showing, doing your thing, and people are attracted to you, to your presence.
Interesting.
The
Okay, great.
last one would be reflectors. So, with reflectors,
Those
for
people.
them,
Yeah.
they have the gift of, and not to get too woo woo or too
Yeah.
deep in it, but throughout the month they actually get to what we call sample. So
Okay.
at some points during the month they might have a generator energy. They might have a ton of energy.
Mm.
They might have a projector energy. They
Okay.
might have a manifestor energy, right? But again, they reflect back to us what is in front of them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for reflectors, they're very open. They can fit in any situation.
Okay.
So I
That's
would say for reflectors, don't be afraid to get out there and
uh-huh.
try different things and just see what works. Because
Okay.
what works today may not work tomorrow, but it might work a couple days from now. But at least you've tried it and you know what that feels like.
Got it. Wonderful. This is so great. And so once people kind of understand that, I also know that there's a whole other component right? With the sacral and all this other
It goes deeper.
information.
It goes deeper. Yes.
I don't know how much you want to go into this.
I
Um,
can dip into that a little bit, just a
okay,
little
dip
bit,
into it a
because
little
it's
bit.
important.
Okay.
Okay. So knowing your type, which again is a generator, manifestor, projector, reflector, is just literally one layer.
Okay.
And that is much more generalized. What we really want to get into though is what we call our authority, our strategy and authority. And
Okay.
so our authority is how we make decisions. Okay?
Okay.
And so that's where we get into the sacral, the spleen, the heart. And if you're familiar at all with the chakra system,
Sure. Yeah.
the crown, the head, the throat, the heart, the same thing applies in human design, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
all of us have different parts of our body that tell us the answer, that
Okay.
tell us the right thing. So for
Wow.
some of us, it's our sacral. It could be
Okay.
our solar plexus, which is all emotional.
Okay.
So it's not a great term, but for the sake of simplicity, you can be emotional or you can
Okay.
be non-emotional. And non-emotional does not mean that you're a cold,
Right.
brick.
Sure, sure. Maybe it's
It
just more of
can
what,
be
like, the driving force of it, or so, like, some people
right.
react emotionally to things and some people don't, and that's not right or wrong. It's just is the
Exactly.
way it is, right? Okay. So we're
Exactly.
how the people
So
see the world.
when you're emotional, it's important to understand that there is nothing wrong with your emotions. You will experience highs,
Mhm.
lows, and neutrality, right? The
Yeah.
important thing is that when it comes to making those big life decisions, that you wait until you're neutral. You do not make a decision when you're way up here super excited, and you
Yeah.
don't make it when you're really low and depressed because those aren't real.
Okay.
You're not fully clear. So you want to make sure that you give yourself time. So we live in a society right now where it's so hard to say, hey, can I have a day or two? Can I get back
Yeah.
to you? Do I have the
Yeah.
answer right now?
Yeah.
Know that you can do that. That is totally okay.
Okay.
Take a minute, sleep on it. A
Yeah.
generator's best friend is let me sleep on it and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Plain
That's
and simple.
wonderful. Yeah.
If you are a non-emotional, like myself,
Hmm.
my authority is my spleen. The
Okay.
spleen is the oldest awareness system in our body. It's what kept the cavemen alive from going out and being hunted by a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
It's what keeps you alive those nights when you're out late and you're thinking, "Oh, this dark alley is fine."
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
not.
No way. No. Run away. Run away. Yeah. Yeah.
Run away. So if your authority is your spleen or your heart, right? Or even your we call it your G center, which I'll get into later, or a different call. But anything other than emotion being your authority,
Okay.
then you have your intuition, you have your inner knowing,
Okay.
right? You have this sense of, yes, this is for me, or no, this is not for me. And it's
Okay.
not based on emotion. Like you're able to clearly see things almost like from a third perspective,
Yeah.
right? You
Almost like in
see
a
what's happening.
disassociated way. Yeah. Like, okay, I see.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
again, neither one is good or bad. We need both of them.
Sure.
In
Yeah.
the time that I've been doing this, it's amazing how many couples, one is emotional, one is non-emotional, and they help each other.
Yeah. I mean, and I
It's
also think
so
even
important.
if you have a partner in business, one of my coaches always
Yes,
says if you have like two matching kind of personalities in business, it makes a whole, or not, not that we're not whole individually, but it can just, I guess, bring together, working together in a better way. So I can see too where
exactly.
in business this would be if you are listening and you have like a team or you have a partner, that knowing this for both people, whether you're just in relationship, your children, family, business, that can give you a lot of insight
Across
in
the board.
who you're working with or who
Hmm.
you're in relationship with. Okay, that's so cool. I love this.
And even on a bigger scale, like if you are the boss, right, and you have a team of people underneath you, knowing how best to communicate with them, right?
Mm,
Knowing who's a projector, who do you give the busy work to? Who do you
yeah,
give the big picture work to?
yeah,
Right? Who do
yeah,
you give the tedious work to? Right? How do
yeah.
you respond to this person to get them motivated?
Mm,
All of those things can be so helpful in really having a thriving, successful business
where
and
people, yeah,
team or
yeah,
community or
yeah.
relationship or family.
Oh my gosh, I'm
right?
loving that. Yeah, I think that is so important. I worked on a team once. We didn't do human design, but we did different personality profiles, love languages, and it really helped us all
Yes,
communicate to each other in a way that that person felt seen and heard. And I think that that is
yes,
such a, and that's, what's something I really try to do with my clients is I want them to feel seen and heard. I want them to feel special. I want them to feel like this is not just like I'm taking, they're important. And if you're running a
yes,
business and a team, how do you how do you keep your team engaged? And I actually heard that a lot in my conference this weekend, that during COVID, especially when people weren't interacting in person as much, it was harder to motivate people, but maybe using a tool like human design and working with a coach like you can really give those team leaders an insight into, oh my gosh, okay,
yes,
I know how to motivate this particular person, or I know that this person is going to enjoy doing this, and then that person, that
exactly,
there's joy in work then, which I guess we're coming back to joy
exactly.
in work. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. This is so great. I'm so excited about this. So, what other kind of like broad stroke things, because we'll have all your contact information here as well. So somebody can contact you to get a human design chart and reading with
That would be
you. And
amazing.
yeah. And
Yes.
what other kind of like maybe a couple of few other broad stroke things that you've seen maybe firsthand with working with people, how human design has impacted people's lives knowing what their human design is.
Absolutely. So, in the business world, since this is
Mhm.
the podcast,
Right.
even there's another layer where we can go into what's called your profile, and so this is a combination of how you project yourself out into the world and how the world sees you, and
Okay.
so knowing what your profile is helps. It will completely support you if you're looking to step into that leadership role, if
Oh,
you're looking to read, even if you want to like master your marketing, which
yeah.
if you're working for yourself, if you're a realtor, like putting yourself out there, being visible, having visibility, and not feeling like a drain, not
Yeah.
feeling like
Yeah.
one more job or task on your endless to-do list.
Yeah.
Finding a way to find a way to do that, to show up where it feels easy and the
Mm.
content, the information just flows through you because you're in alignment. That's something we can work on when we get into your profile as well. And
Mm.
so again, like I said, human design is just this, it's almost like a bottomless pit. There's so much there.
Yeah.
But what I really love to do is really work with people on like, what is it, where are you struggling,
Mm.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Where are
Yeah.
you struggling? And let's find out why. And chances are it's because you're operating, say, as you're a projector, but you're operating as a generator. And
Sure.
so you're
Okay.
burnt out, you're overworked, you're
Yeah.
frustrated,
Yeah.
right? Because you're
And
not getting the results.
I really like what you said about like in marketing, how how the world sees you and how you're showing up, because I think too, as any industry, whether it's a real estate agent or an insurance agent or a dentist, there's a way that
Yes,
we think that we need to show up, like I'm the dentist or I'm the realtor, and then there's the
right.
authentic way we show up to attract the right clients and attract our tribe of people that we actually enjoy working with and want to work with us. So it can
Yes,
be a very, two different, it's not integrated naturally. Like people don't just go, I'm in a market like myself. They kind of look at what everybody else is doing and go, oh, I should do it like this. But that may not feel authentic. That may not feel right for you. And you may end up not working with the clients who are best suited to you. Right? Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Then so
And
yes.
one of the things I hear a lot too from business owners, entrepreneurs, is I can't stay consistent. Well, that's your number one trigger right there. Like that's your first step right there because you're not doing what you really want to do, what is really true for you,
I think
right?
that's
If
the
you think
number
about
one thing
anything
I
that you
hear.
love,
Yeah, and I think that's the number
yes.
one thing I hear with realtors is the consistency factor. And one of the things I
Mhm.
do in coaching real estate agents is I really say, okay, listen, there's a million ways to lead generate and to find clients. And a coach is going to tell you to do something because it's tried and true, but if it's not in alignment with what you like doing, if you don't want to do an open house because you hate them, but you say you're going to do open houses, you're never going to do them. You're never going there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
really, I love the possibilities here of just getting really aligned with your core values and what feels good to you, because in that way you can move down a path clearly that feels good,
Mhm.
right? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
100%.
I think we're going to be working together soon. I'm so excited. Well, Brandi, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. And there's so much to dive into. And so, in the show notes here, it will be here. It'll be on social media. Brandi also does a lot of social media marketing. So, if you have some questions around that, please reach out to her. And I just wanted to thank you again, dear, so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much. It was 100% my honor.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you so
you
much for
know so
having
much.
me.
It's so exciting to learn more. I'll talk soon.